So yesterday we did a sugya of Birchas Hashem, that people, the big three that you die for, right, regardless where you are. We saw halacha that for a minig, even something that if it's going to change yadus, afilu b'tzina, even if it's something as obscure as a shoelace, and we had different opinions what that meant. We saw then there's a mitzvah in the Torah of bifrahesya, but it's nothing to do per se with yadus, but everything to do with kiddush Hashem. In other words, it's not going ahead and taking you away. That Ran really gave us a good hagdara of the different shitas, right? That there's a din of bifrahesya that if you go ahead and do an aveira publicly, it's going to cause a chilul Hashem, and if there's 10 Jews, that's a chilul Hashem. The question of today is: we know goyim are mitzvah in the Sheva mitzvah Noach. Are they mitzvah in the mitzvah of kiddush Hashem or not? Is a goy in the 7 mitzvahs, so his 7 mitzvahs, is his mitzvah wad in kiddush Hashem or not? So we begin today's shir on Ayin Dalin Amid Beis, about 9 lines up. Boy mine me Ravami. They asked Ravami the following: Ben Noach mitzvah al kedushas Hashem or ein mitzvah al kedushas Hashem? Is it Ben Noach mitzvah on kiddush Hashem, or is it Ben Noach not mitzvah wad on kiddush Hashem? Not. What's the din? So Abaya says Abaya. Amar Abaya says Abaya. Toshma Sheva mitzvahs nitztavu b'nei Noach. A b'nei Noach is mitzvah in 7 mitzvahs. V'im Isa. And if you're going to tell me that a goy is mitzvah in kiddush Hashem, timnaya havin, then you're going to have 8 mitzvahs. So again, we're beginning on Ayin Dal on the Beis, and the question is: does a goy in his 7 mitzvahs have a din of kiddush Hashem to die for us kiddush Hashem for them? And Abaye says it can't be, because if they did have that mitzvah, they wouldn't have 7 mitzvahs; they'd have 8 mitzvahs. So Amle Rava inu v'chol abisrayu. I could say that them and anything ancillary to them. So in other words, what's kiddush Hashem? Those mitzvahs that they have, they're mitzvah to keep them in a place where what? Where it will be, where people will try to tell them not to do it. So in other words, it's not separate mitzvah, but an ancillary mitzvah. A chelik of the mitzvah. Like, in other words, to enhance the mitzvah. The mitzvah is such that even if he's forced to go ahead and not do it, he'll say, no, I'll do it anyway. So therefore, you have no raya that you're not mitzvah in kiddush Hashem because of the numbers, right? Maybe because kiddush Hashem is an adjunct. That's a good word. It's an adjunct to the mitzvah, right? In other words, here you have a mitzvah. Someone's telling you not to do it. No, you're mechayiv to go ahead and do al kiddush Hashem to keep that mitzvah. Okay, so that would be the possibility over here. So that's what he tells them. So my haviyallah. So what's the bottom line? Is there such a mitzvah or not? Is there such a mitzvah or not? Now Elisha had cured Naaman, the Melech of Aram. He was the general of Aram. He had cured him of tsuras. He told him to go into the Yarden and go 7 times into the Yarden. However, he has one more time. I have to get the name of the person. The name of the person. Okay, so now he's cured from his tsuras, and he tells Elisha, "I am going to accompany the Melech of Aram to this Beis Rimoin where there was an Avodah Zarah, and I'm going to bow down one more time." Okay, so l'chayra, Elisha is being informed by Naaman that he has to do Avodah Zarah one time. Naaman's a guy. Okay, so now with that in mind, let's begin. My Havila, Amrav Adabarava, Imri Bey Rav. It says they learned in Yeshiva Rav that when Elisha has the following conversation with Naaman, the Daber Hazeh Yislach Hashem la'avdecha. In this matter, let HaKadosh Baruch Hu forgive his eved. B'voy Adoni Beis Rimoin. I'll come with my master, the Melech of Aram, to Beis Rimoin. L'shtachavoy Shama, to go ahead and bow down there. V'unishin al yodi, and he'll incline on my hand. L'shtachavisa Beis Rimoin. Vayomer Loi, and Elisha told him what? Lech l'shalom. He told him that what? Lech l'shalom. Now, so he's telling him that I'm going to do avodah zarah, bad, right? And he says lech l'shalom. V'im Isa, and if Bnei Noach is mitzvah to go ahead and die as Kiddush Hashem, to not make a chil Hashem, lo yilemalei, Elisha shouldn't have told him what, lech l'shalom. He should have told him what, great. He should have told him that, you know what, he should have told him, you can't do it. So l'chayra, you see from here that a goy is not mitzvah on Kiddush Hashem, when Elisha did not stop him. The Gemara says you have no raya. Why? Habitzina, habifahesya. The Maisa with Naaman took place bitzina. There was no 10 Yisraelim there. Again, Kiddush Hashem is going to be among 10 Yisraelim, as we saw yesterday, toich from Meraglim. So Memela, the reason why Elisha didn't say anything to him is because there's no Chil Hashem. Why is there no Chil Hashem? Because you don't have 10 Yidden. Habifahesya. But in Achinami, if Ben Noach was what? Bifahesya, maybe what? Maybe then he would have to go ahead what and do it. So again, it remains in a bayit lo yishita, apparently. The Gemara concludes. Am Rav Yehuda Marav, Ma'aseh ba'adam echad, shenasanein of b'isha achas. There was a ma'aseh where a person he placed his eyes on a certain woman, and he was vehel libaitina, and literally his lave, his heart, or in this case his mind, was full of tina. Right? Tina was like chalud, it was rusted. In other words, this guy was sick over this woman. He was sick over this woman. They said the Raifim, how's the guy going to get better? But Amru, and they said, there's no way that he can get better unless she's boil him. She lives with him. So Amru Chachamim, Yacham said, Yomus, guess what? Tough luck, guy. You're dead. Can't do it. You'd rather die than be boiled to this woman. Right. So they asked what about if she stands in front of him without clothing? So he says, Yomus, you got to die. To sapa imoy me'achri ageder, with him speaking to him behind the geder where he can't see her. Yomus, like to sapa imoy me'achri ageder. Don't even speak. Pligi Rav Acha bar Idi Rav Shmuel ben Achmeni. To the extent of this woman, how we won't go ahead and allow him to indulge in any which way to go ahead and satisfy his lustful mind, right? We're going to say, who was this woman? One of them, either Rav Yaakov Aridi or Rav Shmuel ben Achmeni, said Eishes Ish Haisa. She was an Eishes Ish, and therefore, if she was a Pnuya, it would be okay. Mashma. The Chadam says Pnuya Haisa. Bishleim in the Madam Eishes Ish Haisa. Very good. We can understand the Machma so much. El Mandam Pnuya Haisa. My Kulahai. Why there's so machma, right? It's a pnuya. She's not. There's it's a lav. So, but to the extent that this guy is so sick over it, why would they so machma not to even talk behind the fence? The reason is as mishpacha. It's an embarrassment for this mishpacha. What if this girl would indulge this fellow? That to go ahead, a Bas Yisrael to stand in front of a man for the purpose of indulging him, that would be what, in the Indian, it's sneus. That would be a breach in sneus. Look, ad kedei kach, fellas, the Indian sneus, you want a good sneus lesson, ad kedei kach, let this guy die instead of going ahead and indulging. That she should go ahead and be a prutza to indulge this guy. We won't let it. Fred Gmol and Nasra Minsra, I got to let her, if she's a pnuya, marry her. If she's a pnuya, go ahead and marry her. Says Gemara lo misyasr daita. That's not going to help him. If he's a pnuya, it's not going to help him. Kid Rabbi Yitzchak. Dom Rabbi Yitzchak. Miyom shechar Beis Hamikdash. When the time the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, midnitla tam bia v'nitla oiva avera. The time of bia was taken away. Rashi says people live with such daigas and such difficult lives. The time of bia after Churban Bayis was taken away and was given over to Oivri Avera. Shnemar, Mayim Genuvim Yimtaku, stolen waters Yimtaku, Velechem Sesorim Yinam, and the stolen and secret bed Yinam. So in other words, this guy's indulging in this guy is only because it's usser. Once it would be mutter to him, it wouldn't. Once it be mutter to him, it wouldn't satisfy him. We had such a Gemara, fellas, with Tamar. If you might remember, Amnon was sick. Amnon was sick because he desired Tamar so much. And they were half brother, half sister. Question, maybe they were not brother or sister at all. We had that sugya with David. They were both children of David, or maybe not children of David. Tamar could have been from another man. Okay, we did all that. The bottom line is that the person went ahead and he had a trick to go ahead and be with her. As soon as he was with her, he hated her. As soon as he went to his hater, all he wanted to do was indulge the Mayim Genuvim, right? Hajar Lecha ben Soamora, Hajar Lecha ben Soamora, Hajar Lecha ben Soamora. Okay, so we did the 18 Niskalim. We did the 18 Niskalim. We're finished with Ben Soamora. We're concluding all the 18 Niskalim, all the people that get skila. And now we're going to do the people who get streifa. So we're going in the order of the Chachamim. That skila and streifa, skila is mochamer, and streifa is next, as opposed to Rav Shimon, who says streifa is mochamer and skila is next. Okay. Ve'elohein hanisrafim. Habo al isha ubita, someone who lives with a woman and her daughter. Okay, this is going to be this is going to be today's share, fellas. Someone lives with a woman and a daughter. We'll get back to this in a second. Ubas koyen shezinsa. Okay, we had that before. Like we said, a bas koyen, that's mizana, whether she gets streifa. Shaila was whether she's an arusa, does she get skilo, or she goes down. We had that sugya, but she gets streifa for sure. And yesh b'chal isha ubita, and we can learn from isha ubita. We can learn from isha ubita bitoi, his bitoi, his daughter, ubas bitoi, his granddaughter, bas beno, his granddaughter from his son, bas ishtoi, his stepdaughter, bas bita, his step granddaughter from her, bas bena, step granddaughter from her son, chamoisai, his mother-in-law, the aim chamoisai, and the mother of his mother-in-law, the aim chamav, and the mother of his father-in-law. These will all get streifa. These will all get streifa. Okay. Habo al isha shenasa bita loikitani. It doesn't say someone has relations with a woman that he married her daughter. In other words, cryptically, let's touch it up. A woman that you married her daughter is your mother-in-law. In other words, it should have said in the Mishnah, you get streifa for znus with your mother-in-law. That's what it should have said. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say someone who lived habal isha on a woman shenasa bita, that you married her daughter. It doesn't say that. El haba al isha ubita. Someone who comes onto an isha and her bita, michal de travayu leisura. Fellas, look at the lashon of the Mishnah. Ve'elohein hanisrafim, habo al isha ubita. Someone who lives with woman A gets streifa, and someone lives with woman B gets streifa. If it's a classic case of just mother-in-law, you're not getting streifa for living with your wife. You're permitted to your wife. You'd only get streifa for living with your mother-in-law. So the lashon of the Mishnah is, we're speaking in a case where both women involved you're asa to be with. Guys, you hear? Guys, you hear? Okay, again, listen to the diak. If someone's with a woman and her daughter, it can't mean regular woman and a woman's mother, because if it's a woman's mother, it's your mother-in-law. And your wife is permitted to you. So it doesn't say that. What it does say is, someone's with a woman, A would get streifa, and B and her daughter, you'd get streifa. Who is that? That's your mother-in-law and your mother, the mother of your mother-in-law. You'd get streifa for that.
Isn't there an issur of having beer with a woman and her daughter, the mother and daughter, having nothing to do with whether they're your wife, mother, or anything? Isn't there an issur of having beer with a woman and her daughter?
But you wouldn't get streifa for that, would you?
I don't know. That's what
I'm saying. You would not get streifa for that. It's only derech kikach. Is derech, again, you would not get streifa for that. The first woman, where's it's not your mother-in-law. There's no yichus over there. In other words, it's got to be an issur of erva. There has to be an issur of erva. In order for you to have a mother-in-law, you have to have kedushin to the wife. In order to have the mother or mother-in-law, you need kedushin to the wife. If you're with a woman and a daughter, where's your issa? What did you do? Those are two. You had two separate women. There's no issa then. I mean, this is a lav, but there's no streifa. Avi, in order for you to, and not you, someone to be chayiv, you have to be in the parsha of achrimos. And when it says ishu bita, it means ayidei lekuchim. Okay, we have. I put over here, fellas. I put up. We're going to need these psukim. Okay. V'ish asher yikach derech lekuchim avi es isha ve'es ima, a woman and her mother. Zimahi be'esh yisrafu oisau, they get sreifa ve'esen and them. V'leisia zima b'seichechem. Okay, this is the Parshas Kedoshim, and this is the Isser of sreifa. That's the punishment. In Parshas Achrimais, there's two other psukim that we have to know. Ervas bas bincha, or bas bitcha, the erva of your granddaughter from your son, or bas bitcha, or your daughter. Ervascha heina, erva isha ubita, the erva of a woman and a bita leisagala, as bas binov, as bas bita, their grandchildren, leisikach, legalis ervasa, sheira heina zimahi. Okay, these psukim, guys, is necessary for the whole daf. So let's begin. I'm going to leave this out here, and let's begin the daf. Haba al isha shenasa bita loikitani. It doesn't say you live with a woman and then a woman and her daughter, which would mean mother-in-law. Ela haba al isha ubita. You're with two women, and each one mechlalit shavayu lisura. Each one is asa. Uman ninu. Who are these two women? Is chamoso ve'em chamoso. Good. So now you know in the em chamoso uketani yesh b'chal ishu bita. We can learn, guys. Look at the first line of the Mishnah. Ve'elein nesrafim haba al ishu bita. I'm sticking in the words. Someone who's with his mother-in-law or the mother of his mother-in-law. Ubas koyin shezinsa, and a bas koyin that was mizana, and yesh b'chal ishu bita, and included in that we can learn out from mother-in-law and mother's mother-in-law. We can learn out bita yubas mino. We can learn out all these things. Okay, Rashi in the Mishnah v'yesh b'chlolon kloimar minayu yalfinon kula. From these women we learn everyone. Hanach b'gezer shava k'lakamon b'braisa. So all the cases of the Mishnah Sreifa, guys, we're going to learn from the gezer shava in the braisa, as we'll see in a second. So we have set up. We have the Mishnah learns. It's speaking about mother-in-law and mother of the mother-in-law. And we're going to learn out from those cases, we're going to learn out the case of Bita, Bas Bita, all the cases in the Mishnah. Okay, now. Yesh b'chal isho Bita. Michal, the Travayu Ksivi Behedya, V'hanach mitrosha Asya. Meaning, fellas, it's a hard Gemara. Look at me, it's a hard Gemara. Here's the setup. I know mother-in-law and mother of mother-in-law, right? And from them, I'm going to learn everything else. If I'm going to learn everything else from them, it must be they are written, correct? Where are they written that I'm going to learn everything from them? Guys, again, one more time. Here's the flow of the Mishnah according to the Gemara. Isha ubita, I'm usher on these two women, mother-in-law and mother-in-law, and from these, yesh b'chlal, I'm going to learn out everything else. Now, to learn out from them, it has to be that mother and mother-in-law are written. Good? Now, we have a Gemara on Daf Ayin Vav. We have a Gemara on Daf Ayin Vav. And guys, look at this pasuk. Ish asher yikach es isha, a man who takes a woman, ve'es ima and her mother, zimahi, it's zima, it's not good. Ba'esh yisrofu oisai ve'es hen. In fire you should burn him and them. Now, if this guy is with his wife and with his mother-in-law, who is Eshen? You're only going to kill two of them. When he was with his wife, that's okay. The Issa Sreif is him and what? This Sreif is him and what? One of them. How do you ever have a case of Oisoi ve'eshen, both of them? Guys, you hear? In other words, three are going to get Sreifa. You're going to burn him and you're going to burn them, or burn them and him. Okay. So on that, we have a Gemara. How does a Abaya darshan the Eshen? So this is Machloikas Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva. Okay? Who's getting killed? The man is getting killed, and the mother-in-law is getting killed, and the drasha is the mother of the mother-in-law. And it is stated just mother-in-law, chamoisai, but the mother-in-law is a drasha. Later Baya, Rabbi Akiva holds the mother-in-law and the mother, they're both stated. He learns that you don't need a drasha. Guys, here's the Rabbi Shmuel learns the pasuk. Isha sheyikachas isha ves ima, oisai him and his mother-in-law, and only eshen his mother-in-law, and mother and mother-in-law, and the mother and mother-in-law is a drasha. Rabbi Akiva, Leighton Baya, Isai, he's getting killed, and both of them, meaning mother-in-law and the mother-in-law, all three. So later Baya, you have, according Rabbi Shmuel learns this Midrasha, mother and mother-in-law, and mother-in-law is Mefurish. Like Rava, Rabbi Shmuel says Eshen, right? It's telling me the following. If they're in the world at the same time, Oislev Eshen, then he's also on his mother-in-law. If they're not in the world at the same time, then if the wife's alive, then the Sreifa. If the wife's not alive, then it's Asa. So Rabbi Shmuel is learning Eshen, that even the mother-in-law outlives its Asa. Meaning, if let's say the wife dies, he says it's Eshen, that the mother-in-law will still be Asa. Rabbi Akiva says no. If the wife is alive, it's Asa. But if he goes ahead and outlives her, then the mother-in-law would just be alive. But like Rava, you don't have anything about the mother of the mother-in-law. All you have is the mother-in-law. Guys, notice, in Rava, we're discussing mother-in-laws. We're not discussing the mother of the mother-in-law. Later, Baya, discussing the mother of the mother-in-law. Good. So now, let's see what we got. Again, very, very, I know it's very difficult. So now, Nachama, we're going to get it. The Mishnah said that they're both your mother and mother-in-law, and you're going to learn everything from that. You're going to learn everything. Where is mother-in-law? Mother-in-law stated, the only difference between Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva is the way you dash in the pasuk. Maslisan money. Who's the Tan of the Mishnah? Rabbi Akiva. He. Guys, the Tan of the Mishnah is Rabbi Akiva. Guys, let's take a look. Guys, it's fitted right in. Why does Rabbi Baya say Rabbi Akiva? If a man takes his mother-in-law and her mother, if a man takes, guys, look at the pasuk, it's right on the board. If a man takes his mother-in-law and his mother, zimahi beish yisufru oisai him ve'eshem, and both the mother-in-law and the mother-in-law will die. So lo Rabbi Akiva, the way Abai is darshaning, we can learn everything out from them because it's written. Fellas, what do we need, guys? We need one thing. We need that the mother-in-law and the mother-in-law is written. We need that written. Here it is. Look at one more time. This pasuk, it's written. A man takes Isha, his mother-in-law, Ima, the mother of his mother-in-law, Be'esh Yisifu Isai, the man, Ve'eshen, and both of them. So therefore, according to Rabbi Akiva, it's written. According to Rava, it's not written at all. According to Rabbi Shmuel, it's not written at all. Guys, why? Because Rabbi Shmuel learns the man takes his mother-in-law, and the mother-in-law is a drasha, so it's not written. And like Rava, it's not written at all. Like Rava, we're only discussing mother-in-law. We're not discussing the mother of the mother-in-law whatsoever. So you want to tell me in the Mishnah that you're listing mother mother-in-law and mother-in-law, and you're learning everything from that, it only comes out according to Abaya and only according to Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva will be the Tan of the Mishnah. But load Abaya and Rabbi Yishmael and light Rava in both Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva, it doesn't come out at all. Was that okay? Is that okay? No, it wasn't okay. Okay, look at me. Okay, guys, eye contact. Here's our aim. We want to know a place in the Torah where it says in the Torah, mother-in-law and the mother of the mother-in-law. That's what we want to know. And then once it says that, I'm going to learn everything else. Good? It says in the Torah, mother-in-law and mother and mother-in-law, and everything from that. That's the given. I have a machloikis amaroyim, Abaye and Rava, in a machloikis tanoim, Rabbi Yishmael and Rabbi Akiva. Only one of them would fit the bill. Only one of them would you have written in the Torah, mother-in-law and mother and mother-in-law. That one. Who is that one that would fit the bill? It's Rabbi Akiva according to Abaya. But Rabbi Yishmael according to Abaya doesn't fit the bill because mother and mother-in-law is not written. And according to Rava, mother and mother-in-law is not written according to both of them. Let's see now where we see Rabbi Akiva fits the bill. Good? Where do we see now that Rabbi Akiva fits the bill? Here it is, guys. Take a look right here in front of you. I'm circling it now. Rabbi Akiva learns out the word eshen means mother-in-law and what? And mother of mother-in-law. He's the only one that works out. Here, it's written. Where's it written? Watch. Here it's written. Look. If a man takes his mother-in-law, ves'ima, and the mother of his mother-in-law, ba'esh yisifu, you should burn oisai the man, ves'hen, and both the mother-in-law and the mother of the mother-in-law. Little better now? Good. That's all that's it. So now, let's see it again now. Where do you learn out mother-in-law, mother-in-law from? Masnisamoni, Rabbi Akiva. Who's the Tana? It's Rabbi Akiva, because he says Eshen means who? Both mother-in-law and more importantly, the mother of the mother-in-law. El Rava, the Amar Chamoisai La'achamisa Kabinayu, the Machlokes is whether mother-in-law after death is permitted or not. Masnisan money. Who's the Tana of the Mishnah? Who's the Tana of the Mishnah? Amalach Rava, honey, change the Gersa. Haba al Isha Shenasa Bita. Don't learn someone who lives with a woman, two women, and Zasar on both. Someone who lives with his wife, who's mutter, and his mother-in-law. No, look, guys, look at the Mishnah. Alien Esrafin, Haba al Isha Shenasa Bita. Okay, Anisha Shenasa Bita is your mother-in-law, and that takes care of that according to. Okay, these drushes are always hard. This brings you back to your vamis. You know. Okay, Baruch Hashem, I think it was clear. Now, let's. Okay, so now, guys, so we're set up. We're learning out from mother and mother-in-law all these cases. Look at the Mishnah. Yesh b'chalishu bita, bitoi, bas benoi, bas ishtoi, bas bita, bas beno, chamoso, mother-in-law, ve'em chamoso, ve'em chamav. Em chamoso, ve'em chamav. Now, l'chayra, you don't have to learn out, according to Rabbi Akiva, chamoso, ve'em chamoso, you know it from the pasuk. In other words, dasidas, that it's there already. That's the eshen. Yesh b'chal means I'm learning out from the eshen all these. Good. Why would you have to learn out Eim Chamoisai v'Chamoisai? The chayre, that is it. Back in the Gemara. Yesh b'chal isho bita Chamoisai v'Eim Chamoisai v'Eim Chamav. LeAbaya, according to Abaya who says that Eim Chamoso is a drasha. I did kaboy lemisnei Eim Chamav. Since you had to learn Eim Chamav because it's not listed. Tani nami Chamoso v'Eim Chamoso. We learned chamoso ve'em chamoso. So according to Abaya, guys, what did we have? Let's look back at that chart. According to Abaya, guys, according to Abaya, Did you have mother-in-law? You sure did. Did you have mother's mother-in-law? You sure did. So all I had to learn out, since I mentioned Aim Chamos Chamav, the mother of his father-in-law, I mentioned the mother of his mother-in-law and that, because I don't need that. That, you see, guys, Labaya, I did the Kaboy Lemisne Aim Chamav, Taninami Chamos Aim Chamoso, even though it's written. Larava, I did the Kaboy Lemisne Aim Chamav Aim Chamoso. According to Rava, guys, you only know mother-in-law, right? According to Barbara, you only know mother-in-law. So therefore, since I needed to list what, Aim Chamav, Aim Chamoso, Tani Chamoso. We learned Chamoso. Even though, in other words, if this is the source to learn something out, right, why are you repeating it? If this is A, and I'm learning at B and C, why list A? Because obviously, because I had to list B, I list A. That's all. Okay. Now, how do you learn out all these things, guys? How do you learn out all these things? Okay, to Tan Rabbanan. This is Pasuk Aleph. Isha shayikach es Isha ve'es Ima. Okay, I'm keeping it open on the board, guys. The Ish, it's the Pasuk, the first Pasuk. The Isha shayikach es Isha ve'es Ima, Zima hi, ein li ala Isha ve'ima. All I know is a mother and a daughter. Isha ve'ima. Bas Isha ubas bita ubas bina minayin. How do you know what? How do you know a stepdaughter? How do you know a granddaughter of a stepdaughter? How do you know a grandchild of of your wife, your second wife? I guess ubas bina minayin. Guys, it doesn't say anything about. Look, in Pasuk 1, fellas, it doesn't mention anything about the next generation. Where does it mention it? In Pasuk 2. Ervas bas bincha or bas bitcha. It also mentions it over here. This is what I wanted. Ervas ishu bita loisagala esbas bina vesbas bita. So guys, we want to know, how do you know this? How do you know you get sreifa? How do you know the daughter, if you're with the daughter, if one is with the daughter of her son, or the daughter of her daughter, how do you know you get what? You get sreifa. So what does it say over here? Zima hi. Why does it say over here? Zima. Why does it say over here? Yisrafu. Just like over here, it says Yisrafu and says Zima, so too over here, Bas Mina, Bas Bita is Zima. Says the Gemara. Let's see it inside. Isha yikach Isha Zima, Emli Alisha Ima. Bas Isha Bas Bita, Bas Bina Minayin, Nemakan Zima, V'nema Lahalan Zima, Malahalan Bita, Ubas Bita, Ubas Bina, Afkan Bita, Ubas Bita, Ubas Bina. Good? That's very good. Now, two obscure things, and we're going to have to explain them later. Minayin lasais zecharim kinekevos, the males like the females. Nemer kan zima, v'nemer lahalan zima. Ma lahalan zecharim kinekevos, af kan zecharim nekevos. I'm going to go, the Gemara's going to go over this, guys. Minayin lasais lamata kilamayla, nemer kan zima, v'nemer lahalan zima. Ma lahalan lamata kilamayla, below is like above, af kan lamata lamayla. Umakan lamayla kilamata, af lahalan maylu kilamata. Omamar, going back over the bais, guys. Omamar, going back over the bais. Minayin lasais zecharim kinekevos. So, guys, first of all, the Gemara does not go over the obvious, right? It says over here, Bas Bina or Bas Bita, and it says Zima. So I know they get Sreifa because it says Zima here and it says Sreifa. Good. Now, where's the Charm Kinekevos? What does that mean? My is the Charm Kinekevos. Ilema Bas Bina Kibas Bita. Right? If you're going to say Bas Bina Kibas Bita, Bahade Adadika Asin. They're the same level. Bas Bita, Bas Bina. Right, the same thing. Ella aim chamav ke'aim chamoso. You're going to tell me the aim chamav, that's the zachar ke'aim chamoso. His father-in-law's wife, the mother of his father-in-law, is like the mother of his mother-in-law. Hashta aim chamoso lo kamalon aim chamav adar Allah. Guys, look at the board. You want to learn out Zima to teach me that the mother of the father-in-law is like the mother of the mother-in-law. 1 second. At this point in time, we don't know anything about the mother of the mother-in-law. We learn it from Eshen. We don't know it at all. It's not clearly over here. It's not clearly stated over here, the mother of your mother-in-law. We learn it from Eshen according to Rabbi Akiva. Right? according to Abai, according to Rabbi Akiva. So since it's not stated openly, it can't mean we're going to make the male the mother of the father-in-law like the mother of the mother-in-law, since it's not stated openly. Amid Beis. Amar Abaya Hachi Kamar. So again, we're looking for pshat when it says like the zcharim in the kavas. What does that mean? Hachi Kamar. Minayin lasois she'er haba mimenu ki she'er haba mimena. How do you know that we're going to view the relatives that come from him like the relatives that come from her? Rashi tells us, Alav v'alishtoi kamar is teaching us the following. His children and not her children. Dahainu, Bitoi, his daughter, Ubas Beno, his granddaughter from his son, Ubas Bito, and the granddaughter from his daughter, but they're not from her. Why? Me anusasai. He raped a woman and had a daughter, and that daughter had a daughter. He raped a woman and he had a son, and that son had a daughter. How do you know that we're going to view that Zachar like what? Like Bas Bino or Bas Bita. That's what we're learning. The Lab Chalishu Bita, the Kroninu, you can't learn that from Ishu Bita. The Hasan Beishta Ayde Kedushin Ka'amar. Fellas, beautiful. Let's say over here. Good. Isha Shayikach as Isha Ves Ima. The pasuk over here, Ishu Bita Sagala. This is speaking Rabbi Avi. Rabbi's Gemara is speaking about where there's Kedushin. Here, so how do you know when there's no Kedushin? How do you know when it's Aliyadei Anusa? How do you know if a man would be with his daughter, his granddaughter, and his daughter, he would get what? Sreifa. That's what it means, Secharim Kinekavis. How do you know when the share, the relations comes only because of him, because he is what, a male? How do you know that? So back in the Gemara now. A woman that he was ma'anis, Kisher Abami Mena. How do we know to make his daughter, his granddaughter, Sreifa? Nema Kanzima v'nema Lahalan Zima. Okay, so now 1 second. It says over here, Zima, and it says over here, what? It doesn't say Zima, does it? Guys, it doesn't say Zima, does it? I mean, okay, guys, here's what you want to say. You want to say that Bita Manu Sasai or Bas says Nema Zima Zima, you get Sreifa. 1 second. Where does it say? It doesn't say Ervas Bas Bintcha Bas Bitcha V'Leisagal Ervasan Ki Ervaskan Heina. It doesn't say Zima. Fred the Gemara, V'Besher Didei like Siva Bezima by his She'er Bas Bintcha. Guys, look, the daughter of your son, Bas Bitcha, the daughter of your daughter. These are children that you had as a result of a woman that you were ma'anis. And you want to say you get Sreifa from Zima Zima. Look at the pasuk, guys, it's in front of you. It doesn't say Zima. It doesn't say Zima. Amarava, Amali Rab Yitzchak Bar Avdimi, Asya Heina Heina, Asya Zima Zima. Okay, here's what we're going to do. It says over here Heina. It says over here Heina. Good? Look, guys, look at the board. Look at the board. It says in pasuk 2 the word Heina. It says in pasuk 3 the lashon Heina. And this is Bas Bina, Bas Bitcha. However, it does say over here Zima. We'll view this Zima as if it said over here. Why will we view this Zima as it said over here? Because it says Heina, Heina. Once it says Zima over here, I can learn out to the Zima over here that you're going to get Sreifa. So if 3 equals 2, if 2 equals 3, that means that what? That's as if Zima is said by 2. Zima is said by 2. Then I can learn out 1 that you can get Sreifa from that pasuk. Okay, so the first pshat in Zecharim Nekevis, guys, the first pshat in Zecharim Nekevis is to teach me, how do you know when it's totally the share from him, because he was ma'anis a woman? How do you know there's a din of Sreifa by his relatives, right? Beautifully. You know it from a twofold process. You know that it says Heina by him, it says Heina by her. By her it says Zima. Now it's as if it says by him Zima, and we know it says Zima by Sreifa. So therefore, you know you get Sreifa. Therefore, we're going to make Zecharim Kinekevos. How about that? That's pretty good. Okay, Viter, Amamar. Now there was a second part of the Brisa, right? Was Lamata Lamaila, right? Lamata Lamaila. Amamar. Minayin lasois Lamata Kilamaila. Now, what does it mean? My Lamata Kilamaila. Okay, what does that mean? Ilema baspina ubaspita kibita, that you make what? A granddaughter, like a daughter. Bahadi adadi kasin. It says it openly. Ela im chama ve'im chamoisai ki chamoisai. How do you know to make the mother of your mother-in-law or the mother of your father-in-law like your mother-in-law? And in other words, you're going up. So that's not high lemata kilamaila. You're not making lemata, the mother-in-law, kilamaila, like the mother-in-law's mother or the mother-in-law's father, which is lamaila. Lamaila kilamata have. That's we're making the third generation like the second generation. So Tani Lamai saying, Nami Tani Lamai Kilamata. And it's how do you know to make Aim Chama, Aim Chamaisai, like Chamaisai? Okay. Tamadlema Zima Zima. Yihachi Nema Kan Zima, Nema Lahalan Zima, Mahashta, Ini like Siva, Zimi de Tuk Siva. Fred the Gemara Kasha. Yihachi. If you're telling me that what? That if you're telling me that it means Lamaila Kilamata means Milan from Zima, it says Zima by what? By Aim Chamav. You're learning out Aim Chamim Chamaisai, Uma Hashta Inhi, Aim Chavim Chamaisai like Sivi. It doesn't say it openly, it doesn't say the Asa, it doesn't say anything about them. Zimi did Huk Siva. Right, 1 second. It does, in other words, it doesn't say Im Chamav in the Torah, it does Im Chamaisai. So if it doesn't say it, how can you add Zima Zima? In other words, Zima Zima is telling me they get streifa, but it doesn't say them. They're not mentioned in the Torah. So Am Rabbi Hachi Kamar. Minayin Lasois Shlolash Doirais Lemaila Kisholish Doir Lemata. Let's take a look. Wife is first generation. Chamoisai second generation. Aim Chamoisai V'im Chamav. Bita is second generation. Bas Bita. Okay? So we know these from Zima of Yitches and Yudzayin. We know these from Zima of Chaf Yudalid. So how do you know you make Lemaila Kilamata? So we're going to drop from here, guys. This is going to be the drasha. Okay. Says the Gemara. Amar Vayachi Kamar. Minan Lasois, someone who has on a sholosh generations Lemaila, 3 generations above. So that would be Chamav Chamaisai, right? Kishleisha Doris Lamata, like Bita Ubas Bita. This is stated, right? How do you know to do that? Nemar, it says Lamata. Someone is with a woman, Ubas Bita Baspina. This is stated, guys. Here, look. Ervas Isha Bita Leisagala as Baspina as Baspita. So that is stated, and it says Zima. This is stated, and it says Zima. Okay. V'nemar, it says Lamaila, the Hainu Chamaisai, in this pasuk, guys. It says Kiyikachish es Isha ves Ima, Zimahi Beishis Rofu. So just like the Doris below, it's 3 generations, so too the Doris above is 3 generations, even though it doesn't state it. It doesn't say Im Chamav. Okay. So what are we darshaning? We're darshaning the following. 3 generations below, wife Bita, Ubas Bita, you're going to get streifa for these 2. How do you know that? Because of pasuk 3, Isha Bita Leisagala Espas Minov Esas Bita, and it says Zima, so you know for sure that the next generations get streifa. So too over here, Isha Sheyikach Isha Ima, right? The generations Im Chomav, Im Chamosa would also get streifa. So you're learning the bottom ones to the top ones. That's the way he's learning. Learning bottom ones to the top ones. Okay. Okay. Fredig Marakasha. Imahi Aim Ima Asura. Just like the mother of her mother is Asa. Just like the mother of her mother is Asa. Afhu, so to him, Aim Imai Asa. The mother of his mother should be Asa. Now, we spoke out in Masechta Yevamis, your maternal grandmother is a Shniya Aroyes. It's not a Rishon. It was a big Chiddush, right? It's not, your mother's Asa to you, the mother of your mother is not Asa to you. So it comes out interesting. The mother of your mother-in-law is asa. The mother of your mother is muta. Why don't we learn out, just like there, going above is sreifa, it'll also be sreifa. Now be aware, with your mother is skila, guys. With your mother is skila, with your mother-in-law is what is sreifa. So the Gemara is now saying, Gemara is comparing apples and oranges, right? The Gemara is making this following comparison. We're comparing, well, we know that mother-in-law is sreifa, mother-in-law is sreifa, so let's do the same thing over here. Mother is asr, mother of mother should also be asr. Now, I didn't tell you what she should get, but we know that mother of mother is only one of the shniyas arayos in Masechta Yevamis and Afchaf Aleph. That's the Gemara's kasha. Imahi im ima asura, afhu im ima asura. Amar Abaya, Amar Kra, the pasuk says, Amar Kra, the pasuk says, fellas, ervas avicha ve'ervas imecha loisagale imchahi. The erva of your father, the erva of your mother, loisagala imchahi. Mishum imo yatem mechayvoi, viatem mechayvoi mishum emimoi. When it's a miyat, imchahi. Why is it stating imchahi? We know it's your mother. It's stating that the issa stops there. Imchahi, the level of your mother, that's where it stops. But mother of mother, that's the Rabbanan. So, Einachinami, I'll still limud from mother-in-law. It would make sense to say, just like mother-in-law is usher, and mother of mother-in-law is usher, so too mother is usher, and mother of mother should be usher. But since it says, imchahi, it stresses, she's your mother. That's it. And therefore, mother of mother is not usher. Okay. Amar Rava. Amar Rava, says Rava. Rabbi is going to go ahead and say, you can't entertain that. Rabbi is going to say that you can't entertain that. What's Rabbi, that your mother of your mother should be asa? I'll tell you why. So Amar Rabbi Amar Bein Lemanda Amar Doik Mina Umina. Guys, we have two ways in the Gezerah Shava. Once you start learning, you continue to learn. Or Doik Mina Vuki Basra, you learn one thing and it stops. So again, one Gezerah Shava, if you compare to the other place, whatever it says by the other place applies. Or no, you learn from Gezerah Shava and you're only learning at one thing. So that's what the Gemara is going to go ahead and figure out now. So Rav Amar Bein Lemanda Amar Doik Mina Umina, whether the man Amar says that what you learn from it and you continue to learn from it. Ubein Lemanda Amar Doik Mina Vuki Basra, and Bein Lemanda Amar that you learn from it and you stop. Aim Imoy Asura, right? Loyasya, it's not going to come out. In other words, you won't be able to learn out your maternal grandmother. Fellas, where would you learn out maternal grandmother from? From mother-in-law. Just like mother-in-law and mother's asa. Just like mother of the mother-in-law is asa, so too mother of your mother is asa, right? Says Rav, and so Abaya said imchahi, we have a miyot. Rav is saying even without the miyot, you won't be able to learn it out, okay? Even without the miyot, you won't be able to learn it out. Let's see why. Lemandi Amar Doik Mina Umina. Like the Manda Amar says that what you learn it out and you continue to learn it out. Mahi Aim Ima Asura. Afhunami Aim Ima Asura. Just like see her mother's asa, the mother of your mother-in-law, so too the mother of your mother should be asar. Umina, and now you'll continue to learn. Umahi Bisreifa. Just like the mother of your mother-in-law is Sreifa. Afhunami Bisreifa. So too your grandmother, the mother of your mother would be Sreifa. Lamandiyam Sreifa Chamura. Ikal Mifrich. Malahi Shekain. Ima Bisreifa. Toima Bahu. Shema Biskila. Mother-in-law, what do you get, guys? Sreifa. Mother-in-law, what do you get? Sreifa. Mother, what do you get? Skila. It doesn't even start. Like Reb Shimon, that Sreifa is Muhammad. You know the reason why what my mother and mother-in-law is because he has that chamidika einish. If you only have skila, how do you maybe you don't get mother or mother-in-law? You're killing out mother of mother. You kill out mother and mother-in-law. Why? Because this is Sreifa and this is skila. So says Rava, loit demanda ama doik mina. You learn out from it. One, that it's asar. Umina, and you continue to learn out from it what punishment you get. It's dead on arrival because mother-in-law is Sreifa and mother is Skila. Dead on arrival, right? Dead on arrival. So again, if the aim is, the kasha is ihachi, if the mother of your mother is asa, then your mother of your mother should be asa. So says Abaya Imcha, he says, Rabbi, you don't even need a miyut. It's dead on arrival. It doesn't start. Why? Because like this is asa, this is asa. So this is Sreifa and this is Skila, and Sreifa is Mochama. That's why mother of mother is asa. But mother of mother, which is just Skila, no. That's one upslug. Like doik mina omina. V'oid imay beskila aim imay besreifa. Guys, where are you learning from? You're learning mother, grandmammy from grandmammy-in-law, right? Guys, look at me. Look at the fingers. You're learning grandmammy from grandmammy-in-law. So it's going to be this. Here's going to be the din. What does mother-in-law get, guys? Sreifa. What does mother-in-law get? Sreifa. What does mother get? Skila. What does mother-in-law get? Sreifa. She's Muhammad in the mother? How could the secondary erva be Muhammad in the first erva? How could she be Muhammad in the first erva? Again, if your whole source for mother of your mother is mother of mother-in-law, then she has to get the same punishment. It will come out here for what? She's Muhammad than your mother, which makes no sense because she's a second generation erva removed. So says Rava, it doesn't make any sense. Like the man the Amma, doik mina umina, to learn out mother-in-law, mother of your mother, your grandmother. Why would she get why would she get a more severe punishment than what? First of all, her mother's Sreifa, she gets, mother's Skila, she gets Sreifa. And secondly, Sreifa's Muhammad, so she'd be more Muhammad than her mother. Okay. V'oid, mahi lechalakta bein ima le'emima. Just like by mother-in-law, there was no chilik, they both got Sreifa. Afunami le'tachalik, bein ima le'emima. So too by what? By him, you should make a chilik with him and his mother. Okay, that's according to Man Diyama that doik mina umina. Uleman Diyama skila chamura. Man Diyama that skila is mochamar. May hai kusha loy nedunya. From the last kasha, in other words, the last kasha, they should be this. The last kasha is that what? They should be consistent, right? What? Like the Manda Omar, the only kasha you'd have, you wouldn't have the first two kashas because the first two kashas straight. So therefore, what? The mother would be skila and she would get sreifa. Okay, that makes sense. The mother's more chama, and sreifa is less chama. So therefore, it would make sense that what? The mother gets skila, the more chama, and she gets sreifa. So in other words, what was the kasha like Rav Shimon is not a kasha like the Rabbanan. If your mother, if someone is with their mother, it's skila. It would make sense if someone's with their grandmother, you get sreifa. So that's not a kasha. Why would the kasha be? Just like by mother-in-law and mother-in-law, they're both the same. So too by mother and grandmother should be the same. And they're not. So therefore, obviously, you can't go ahead and learn out. You can't learn out. Okay?
So what's the limit you're learning mother's mother? Because it's not the same. So what is the limit that how you learning that it gets straight?
We know mother's mother is not usher.
Right.
Where would you learn it? Where would you learn it from? That's what we're destroying the limud. Abaya does it very easily. It says imchahi, it stops my mother. Rav is saying mimanav shach. Where are you learning it from? You're learning it from mother-in-law. Mother-in-law is sreifa for the mother-in-law and sreifa for the mother of the mother-in-law. So you is skila sreifa by mother. So therefore, either according to the one who says the mother that you don't mino umino, that sreifa is mochamer, then it doesn't make any sense. And even like the man Yama that skila is mochamer, it still doesn't make any sense. Why? Just like over here, they're the same isser. Sreifa. Also over here should be straight. It's skila. It's skila.
Right.
Therefore, it doesn't work out to make that limud like the man Yama that says doik mina umina. Like the man Yama says doik mina umina, it doesn't make any sense that you can possibly go ahead and learn it out. You couldn't learn it out. Okay? So now the Gemara will continue. Ulamandi Omar, doik mina v'uki ba'asra. Like the man, the Amr is you, in other words, you don't learn out everything. You learn out one thing. So here's what you would learn. Just like the mother of your mother-in-law is Asr, so too the mother of your mother is Asr. And that's it. And you wouldn't learn Sreifa, and you wouldn't, just simple Issa. That's all I would do. So like that man, the Amar, that you say that Doik Mina, you're just learning from there. Mahi Aim Ima Asura, just like mother-in-law's mother is Asr, just like the mother of your mother-in-law is Asr. Afhu Nami Emi Mayasura, so to his grandmother's Asr, the mother of his mother. And you leave it like that. Good? You still have a kasha. Hasam hu de bisreifa. Over there, they get sreifa. Aval hacha biskila. Over here, it will be skila. Kida ashchin beimai. Right? Like you find by the mother. So notice, what would you get? You would say you get, guys, you say you would get skila. That's, in other words, I have no source for sreifa for grandmother. The only source would be mother-in-law. But the only thing I'm learning from mother-in-law and mother of the mother-in-law, that grandmother's asa. I'm not learning anything else because uki dokmina, learn from it one thing. Fuki abasra. And so no. So mother of mother-in-law is asa. Your grandmother's also asa. But you're not learning at sreifa. Because you just learn out one thing. So you're not learning at what? You're not learning at Sreifa. Okay? Okay. Afunami ima b'Sreifa. Vuki basra, hasam hu de b'Sreifa, aval hacha. But here, it should be what? You should get what? You should get skila. Guys, because that's what the mother gets. Good? Now, let's fear rice. Lemanda amas Sreifa chamura. Like the man the Amar that says Sreifa is Muhammad, like that Sreifa is Reb Shimon, Ikal Mifrich, Malahi, Shekain Imay B'Sreifa, Taima Behu, Sheimay B'Skila. Guys, look, let's watch the fingers. Let's watch the fingers. You're learning out your grandmother from your grandmother-in-law. Good? This is Skila, this is Sreifa. This is Skila, of course, since I only learn on Isser, I have no Makar for Sreifa. Like Rav Shimon that Sreifa is Mochamer, you know why this is Asa? Because this is Sreifa. Maybe this is Skila, it's Mokal, therefore it shouldn't be Asa. In other words, you're right, this is Asa. You know why this is Asa? Because it's Sreifa. This is Skila, so maybe it's not Asa. Malahi shekain ima b'Sreifa, Taima b'hu shima b'Skila, v'oid, hu kihi, she should be like her. Mahi loit chalakta ba bein bita le'ein ima. Just like her, there should be the difference between bein bita le'bein ima. Afhu loit techalik ba bein bitoi le'ein imoi. Okay, let's see Rashi over here. Oy, mahi loit chalakta bein bita le'ein. Kloimar. Rashi, the second line down. My chazis dechi amit uki ba'asra l'meilav sher didei minei ubei. Davar midavar shenemar the aim imoy he beskila kimoy ki hechi de b'shar dida aim imoy ima. In other words, you should say that the grandmother gets skila just like the mother-in-law gets mother-in-law gets sreifa. Dilma uki basra v'nema de b'sreifa he kibitoi. Maybe it's the sreifa like the daughter ki hechi de b'shar dida aim ima kibita. Okay. Guys, this is Sreifa, right? Mother-in-law, okay. Daughter, Sreifa, right? If you're going to learn out over here, skila to this, maybe Bita is also skila. I think we'll start tomorrow, guys. It's getting. I'm sure you're lost by now. Well, you got to know what the